Oh, hey, everybody, come in. Sit down. No, no, you don't come in apologizing. Just sit down. Sit. I'm fine. I'm barely limping anymore. Have a seat. Where's your trench coat? Cause this whole thing here is not gonna work. Yeah, remember we talked about that? See, I thought this was kind of self-explanatory, but when you have four legs and you're trying to pass in the human world, you can't wear skinny jeans because that just looks odd. Okay, you can't get two legs down in one leg of skinny jeans. You're gonna have to wear your overcoat, and then practice right, and then practice walking, yeah, like the humans do. Okay, I know the way you guys walk is more fluid. You're like a centipede, but if you want to live here on Earth, you're gonna have to practice that bipedal locomotion. Okay. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. Have a seat. Have a seat. We're here for our new lesson. Well, that was my fault, really. I mean, I don't want to say I overestimated you guys, but see, I thought you were ready. I thought you were ready for a field trip out into the world. Yeah, and you weren't. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's me. Because you were not prepared, and that was on me. I am a little disappointed in you, Snurg. You and I had that private session. I worked with you on that. Fire extinguishers are not snacks. And see, now I can't go back in Target for a year. Okay, and then, well, yeah, and that's what led to that. See, you panicked and then you ran me over. So not only am I limping, I can't go back to Target for a year. How am I going to do my back to school shopping? Don't don't worry about it. Like I said, it's my fault. It's not your fault. Okay, we'll try again later. We're not going to worry about that right now. Right now, we're going to focus on our next lesson. Okay, are we all excited for our next lesson? Yeah, Snurg, don't get too excited. I didn't bring a bucket. Just breathe out your ears. That usually seems to help. That's bad. Don't do it out. You remember now what we do in here, you can't always do out in public. Just out the ears. There you go. That's looking better now. Okay, now this lesson is going to be a little different. We're going to talk about something very straightforward, something very simple today. Yeah, even more simple than the plate. Now, we're going to talk about something that you've probably seen on humans, but you didn't really pay a lot of attention to, except maybe you. I mean, you're pretty observant. It's. I'm going to tell you what it is. Don't touch that. Pull your tongue back in. You can't have these. These are not snacks. You can't eat everything in the human world. Everything is not edible. I know it seems like they eat all the time, but not everything is edible. Okay, no, don't. Roll that tongue back up in your head. Stop. Breathe through the ears. But only here. Okay. Yeah, we're going to talk about something simple, but we're also going to work on your attention span. Does anybody remember what an attention span is? Do you remember? It's your ability to focus for an extended period of time. I'm going to test that a little bit today. I want to see how you guys do. Because, normally I have my cards and we go through them pretty quickly and we just look at everything and it kind of moves in not a fast pace, but kind of. Well, I'm going to get you to sit today and listen to me read a little bit. Not a lot, just a little, but I want to see how you do. And I'm going to tell you what we're here to talk about today. Today we are here to talk about the hair tie. No, this is not one hair tie. This is actually 100 hair ties. And look at the beautiful colors on there. We have green ones. Do you remember your colors? What's this? Green. Yellow. I would call that pink. Yeah. Blue. Oh, don't use... No, I know. You use the term from your planet and it always hurts my ears when you do that. It's just, that's so high-pitched. And purple. Yeah, so you have to use earth terms, okay? Because we can't handle it. It's like nails on a chalkboard, and it's really high pitched, and it's nothing personal. You have a beautiful language. Just some of the things y'all say are just hair ties. Has anyone ever seen a hair tie before? Now this is 100 of them. So when you're talking about one hair tie, you're talking about something like that. Nobody? Okay. Well, that's okay. That's okay. That's why we're here. We're going to discuss hair ties today. Um, and I'm going to give you a very simple definition of the hair tie. It's so simple. This is one of the simplest things we've done. A hair tie is an item used to fasten hair, and that's basically it. Um, yeah, and that's all it is. Now, if you're named Heather, you're born with a hair tie on your wrist, and you have a 35-year-old boyfriend with a boat. That doesn't apply to everybody, though. It's just a joke. I keep forgetting y'all don't know what jokes are. I'm sorry. Just disregard that. That's not part of the lesson. Now, you may hear the hair tie referred to by other names. Yeah, they do. People call hair ties different things. And a lot of it is kind of regional, depending on the part of the world, part of Earth you happen to be in at that point. They're called sometimes ponytail holders now around here, and that's mainly what I hear them referred to as ponytail holders. That's what I call them. Bobbles, chongo, doodoggle, elastic band, go-go, and hairband. Not now. We discussed hair bands, the 80s hair bands. That's not what we're talking about here. We mean a band of usually elastic, that holds the hair back. And there are more names. You don't have to remember all these. It's not going to be on the test, the final exam. This is just for your own reference. Hair binder, hair elastic, hair knickknacks. I know, I like that one. Hair up, scrunchie. Now, a scrunchie is slightly different, but we'll go over that in a minute. Twisty and hair thing. Now, usually the only other thing you hear referred to as a thing is a container of deodorant, a thing of deodorant, because nobody really knows what to call it. But you can also call a hair tie a hair thing, and that's totally acceptable. So really, it may depend on where you are in the world, but you may hear them referred to as different things. Just wanted you to be kind of aware of that. Depending on where you end up, they may use different terms for it. So I just, if you hear it, maybe you'll remember that. Now, hair ties can be made out of different materials. Most of the hair ties that you see today are made of elastic. And that elastic is going to be coated. Now, it's kind of hard. You can't really see it here. But this is, it's essentially just a rubber band, an elastic. See how it stretches like this? And it's coated in this sort of like a fabric that stretches with the elastic. And that fabric is also elastic. But all hair ties are made a little differently, so that's not going to apply in every case. And an optional component of the hair tie is a metal clip. Now, it's not really a clip per se, but it's a metal band, and you can see them here. Now, this used to be a lot more common, that you would see this silver part here. That is a metal clip that holds it together. All the stuff goes in there, and then they clamp this over it to hold it. Yeah, and these, you can see they all have that metal clip on there. Each one has one. Now, they don't all have that. You can also have some like this. Now, you see how these are thicker? Yeah, and we have, how many different colors do we have here? How many do you see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have pink, blue, purple, orange, yellow, and green. And these are thicker. Now, these are made basically the same, but they are thicker. And I find that the thicker ones don't stretch out as quickly. These, after you use them a few times, the elastic kind of stretches out and it loses some of its elasticity. These don't seem to do it as fast. Plus, now you'll notice these don't have the metal clip. They are clasp-free round elastics. So the back just looks like this. You'll see a little part there where the everything is kind of glued together, but there's no metal clasp. A lot of people don't like it because that metal piece can kind of get caught in your hair, and when you try to remove it, it pulls your hair So that's one good reason to do away with the metal clasp. Yeah. No, 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 no. You're never going to confuse this with spaghetti. Well, spaghetti's not usually colorful like this. Now, there is the tricolor pasta, but I wouldn't worry about it. You're probably not going to see a plate of hair ties. And if you do, what have we said before? You take your cues from the humans around you. You watch them. Now, if you're sitting somewhere and you're presented with what looks like a plate of hair ties and everybody else starts putting them in their mouths and eating them, then I suppose you'd be okay, but I don't think that's something you're going to have to worry about. Yeah, and again, I know it seems like their entire existence revolves around food, but yeah, it's actually not always the case. Now I want to stop here. Now we have a few more cards that I want to go over, but I want to stop here because I want to read a little bit to you, and this is your test for your attention span. Okay, now I want you to listen to what I have to say. Just focus on what I'm saying. Just focus on me talking. Don't look around the room. Don't pull your arm off. Just listen. Not that one either. No. It's very realistic though. I like that. Where'd you get that? I swear you can get anything on Amazon these days. Okay, now I'm going to read to you first about the hair tie's early history. Yeah, we're going to learn the history of the hair tie. Up until the invention of elastic, men, women, and children held their hair back with colored ribbons of fabric or bands of leather, either tied or fastened in place with a pin. Colorful ribbons were seen as status symbols and objects of envy on the heads of young girls. But women would never have been seen in public with their hair tied back in such a casual fashion until the look was popularized in the late 20th century. And then we have hair ties in men's fashion. See, the men's hair changes over the years. Sometimes it's longer, sometimes it's shorter. The hair tie started as a predominantly male fashion accessory, as European men popularly wore their hair in what was called a queue, the French word for tail, through the end of the 1700s. Even after that style died publicly in favor of shorter hair on men, the queue, tied either with a leather strap or a small bag known as a caul, was the military regimented hairstyle throughout Europe through much of the 1800s. And then we have hair tie alternatives. While women from pre-modern times may have scoffed at the idea of a ponytail, the look of cauls and snoods was popularized in the Middle Ages and brought back in the 1970s, while a caul sections off small amounts of hair. A snood encases an entire head of hair in a netted bag that is often adorned for festive occasions such as weddings. You would look really good with a snood. See, it would hide that nozzle thing on the back of your head. What's it called? See, I always mispronounce that. But see, you could put that in the mesh bag and it would just look like hair from a distance. Okay, hair ties and elastic. Hair ties were revolutionized by the invention of elastic in the 1800s. Thomas Hancock, considered the father of the rubber industry, obtained the first patent in 1820 for the use of elastic in fasteners for gloves, shoes, and stockings. And on St. Patrick's Day in 1845, British businessman Stephen Perry obtained the patent for the rubber band. It was only in the mid to late 20th century that the basic rubber band was updated specifically for the purpose of tying hair, due to the standard rubber band's tendency to pinch and pull, resulting in pain and sometimes hair loss. That's why they say don't use rubber bands in your hair. The first elastic loop fastener was patented in 1958 by the Hook Brown Company to attach strands of blended fabric and elastic in a concentric circle, and it is still popularly used today. Just like this right here. Same basic concept. And now we're going to talk about the hair tie today. You guys are doing so great with your concentration, or you look like you are. Open your fifth eye. There you go. Don't nod off. See, I know how you are. It's easy for you to hide it. Modern variations of the hair tie include the scrunchie, which consists of an elastic band sewn inside bunched, colorful fabric. And I have some scrunchies right here. Look at that. These are known as scrunchies. Now you see it has this fabric that bunches up, but when you pull the elastic inside, it kind of straightens it out a bit. These are scrunchies. As well, okay, it consists of an elastic band sewn inside bunched, colorful fabric, as well as limitless fashion variations that can be bought or made with just a needle and thread by affixing plastic ribbons or jewelry to a standard hair tie. So that gives you a little bit of extra information about hair ties. I doubt the average human is going to quiz you on that. This is really just for your information. See, when I have students, I like to try to give them a nice, well-rounded education about the human experience. And sometimes I think these little bits of trivia make it a little more interesting. So these are scrunchies. Here's a purple one. Now you can find some that are bigger, and a blue one, and a pink one. And here they're called hair twisters. And they come on this little card, and see, it would hang on a peg wall like this for display in the store. They're very soft. Here, feel this. Feel how soft they are. Yeah, I like them. It's very nice. Okay, now a few more cards for you guys. Ponytail holders or hair ties are usually used on long hair. Does anyone know why that might be? Well, it's mainly because with shorter hair, it's just harder to gather it up. See, like my hair, it kind of hangs down. Like if you would try to gather it all up, it's difficult. So when you have longer hair, it just works better with the ponytail holder or the hair tie. Ponytails are usually done as part of a hairstyle such as pigtails, bunches, or ponytails for straight, wavy, and loosely curled hair. Now, you know humans have different hair types, hair colors, things like that. All humans don't have the same hair. Yeah, I imagine you guys have noticed that. Yeah. And the hair in the ponytails can be referred to also as afro puffs, bunny tails, and pineapples for highly curled and highly textured natural hair. So it can be done different ways depending on the kind of hair that you have. So it's, like I say, it's not all the same. So it's going to be different depending on the type of hair. Now, two common hair ties are the scrunchie, like we just talked about, and the elastic. And that's why I say it's a very simple concept, but it's widely used across populations and across continents. I mean, you can find these literally anywhere in the world. It's one thing that is kind of unifying when you talk about humans. It's the hair tie. I mean, a lot of people don't think about that, but you can find them anywhere in the world. Hair ties' elasticity and durability vary depending on the material or materials from which they are made. So again, like we were saying about these elastics, if I had to guess, I would say that these thicker ones will last longer than the thin ones because the elasticity will last longer. These tend to get stretched out more quickly than the larger ones. Which these were both the same price, but you see on here you only get 15 as opposed to 100. But these will probably last longer. For hair ties, most use elastic, rubber, or stretchy forms of cotton. And that, I think mainly you're going to see elastic like these. Pictures of some different types of hair ties, and I have a few more real-life examples for you. Now this one here is the snappy hair tie, and you can see an example of it here on her wrist. And her hair is put up a little bit. Some hair ties they're larger. They may be referred to as headbands, but they're basically like a large ponytail holder, and it's for different types of hairstyles and stuff. So they're not all going to be little like this. Some of them can be bigger than this. Now here's an example of a scrunchie. No, that's not the name of a human. I'm talking about this. This is a scrunchie right here. Don't call people scrunchies. That, I don't think that's going to go well. But you see how it's kind of holding the hair up like that? Now, from my experience with the scrunchie, depending on your hair type, it's kind of hard to have a high ponytail with just a scrunchie. It seems to slide down, or that's the way it would do with my hair when it was longer. But again, it depends on the texture and type of hair that you have. But this is I just wanted to show you this as an example of a scrunchie. And this is another kind of painful example of a scrunchie. This, back when I was in high school, this would have been a very popular look, popular hairstyle. And you see the scrunchie is way up here, and you have the crazy overly sprayed bangs, and the shirt actually kind of just looks like a big scrunchie itself. But I just wanted to show you, and that's another scrunchie. See how it's kind of a silvery metallic look? So you can make scrunchies out of any kind of fabric, any kind of material. And like the card said, or the paper said, you can add flowers to it. You could add any kind of little decorations that you want to. There's really no limit to the number of things that you can do. Now these, you don't see as much anymore. They do look like, yeah, they look like phone cords, right? I didn't think you would remember that. I thought you slept through that. I don't mean any offense, but you have at least 4 of your eyes closed. They do, but they can be used as hair ties. But they do look like different colored phone cords, for the receiver. I remember seeing hair ties like this. I haven't seen any like this in a while, and I've never actually used one, but that is another type of hair tie that you might see. Now here is a 4-step process showing you how to use a specific type of hair tie. You start here, and then you wrap it around the hair here, and then you tuck these little plastic pieces under, and then in the end it's going to look like this, where you have these 2 little plastic balls that stick up on top there. And I'm going to show you some of those, and they look like this. Here, you see these? Now they have these little plastic pieces on there. And what happens is you have one loop here and one loop here, and each loop has one of these plastic balls on it. And you're going to take that ponytail holder, like in the picture I just showed you, and you're going to wrap it around and around and around, and then tuck these little plastic pieces under the parts that you've wrapped around to where they stick up on top like that. It's like just a little added decoration. Now these are a little bit bigger than the ones in the picture, but it's the same concept. See, we have pink ones, yellow ones, green ones, blue ones. We have 8 of these clasp-free, now here they're called ponytail holders. Clasp-free ponytail holders. We have 8 of them here. It may look like just a bunch of plastic balls, but it's 8 ponytail holders. And you have one end over here, and then it goes through here, and the other end over there. And they just hang down. So you would remove the staples on this card here, and then open it up, and then that would allow you to access the 8 ponytail holders. So that's another type that I have. And here's an example of just kind of a different hairstyle that you could do with hair ties. You see that her hair is sectioned off here. It's kind of divided in half, and then we have the ponytails coming down this way, and they have all these different colored elastics, all these hair ties kind of holding it in place all the way down. So that's just another little style that you can do. Here's another example. Now I don't want you to get emotional when you see this, okay? You either snark, just I know, but you guys have been dealing with homesickness lately, and I went back and forth on showing you this. I wasn't sure if I should. You're probably fine because your emotions haven't been installed yet, but look, don't cry. I know it's going to remind you of your mom. I'm sorry. I know it looks like your mom. It's not your mom. No, these are elastics. These are hair ties, believe it or not. And they are made of elastic, stretchy, floofy stuff. We have a pink one, a yellow one, a blue one, and a purple one. Can you have it? You want one too? Well, I tell you, y'all can duel in the parking lot over these, okay? Afterwards? No, it's fine with me if you take them, but you're going to have to fight it out in the parking lot because I just have this one. I'm not taking you back to the store. The Target incident, we're not going shopping again anytime soon. I'm going to have to work you guys up to that. But again, that was my mistake. It's okay. This is just another example, and see again, it's called ponytail holders, and they're just different colors of elastic. Yeah, nice and soft. So you guys fight it out. I'm going to put it there. I see that tentacle. Pull it back. You guys fight it out after class and let me know who wins, and then you can have it. Okay. Well, I try to be fair. You know, you're gonna have to strap a few claws behind your back because that's a fair fight. Oh, and one more. Look at this. Is this not precious? Look at this. I know, it looks like a lollipop, doesn't it? It's not. You know what this is? You won't believe it. It is a bunch of hair ties. We have 40 clasp-free round elastics on here. And it's made to look like a little lollipop. This would make a cute gift for somebody, wouldn't it? Yeah, but you can see how they're all different colors. We have yellow, red, green, purple, orange, blue, and they're all over. And then it's coated in this elastic, or cellophane plastic. And see, all you have to do, you remove the ribbon, pull the plastic off, and then you can get to the hair ties. Isn't that the sweetest thing you ever saw? I wouldn't lick it, no. See, now that's what I mean. Now, you cannot just do stuff like that, especially out around humans. Well, I'm accustomed to it. There's very little that you guys can do that I haven't already seen. Don't go around licking things in public, okay? Well, your tongue is a little freaky anyway. I mean, we talked about that. And we don't have any secrets. We're all friends in here. Everybody knows your tongue's a little weird. Just try to rein it in a little bit. Okay, you're not in the band Kiss, so it's not. Okay, we'll talk about it later. But it's hair ties. It's 40 of them in this cute little lollipop. So you may even see hair ties done like this, or in some other form that kind of looks like a lollipop. Now, I want to discuss a few things here. You remember how we have to learn to differentiate. We tell things apart. I have some pictures of some things here that are not hair ties, so there's no confusion. This is not a hair tie. Now, I know this looks round like a hair tie, and it looks like it has a little decoration like a hair tie might have. This is a screwdriver, but not the tool. This is the drink, the screwdriver cocktail. But you guys are not ready for alcohol consumption yet. We're going to have to go through some tests first to even see what happens. And I can't get you guys in the lab for enough. We're working on it. This is also not a hair tie. This is a pug. Yeah, it's a dog, right? It's a type of dog. I don't know if they're tasty or not, and we're not going to find out. Okay, don't take a bite. Just don't sample one. People don't like it if you bite their dogs, and sometimes they bite back. Now these things, these guys will eat hair ties. So if you have any, maybe don't leave it out around the dog or a cat. This is also not a hair tie. Does anybody know what this is? Has anyone seen one of these? A frisbee. No, it's not a frisbee. I'm so close. No, not quite. It's a frog. Yeah, it's a frog. And they go ribbit, ribbit. And they don't have anything to do with hair ties. I don't think you're going to have a lot of trouble confusing hair ties and frogs, but better to be safe than sorry. If you try to use a frog to hold your hair back, it's probably just going to pee all over you. This is also not a hair tie. No, it's a sonic screwdriver. You guys are familiar with these. Yeah, not here. Not real ones. No. I mean, you can see some fake ones, but certainly not. So if you see people doing this, they're not putting their hair up in a ponytail. Yeah, no, it's not. Okay. It's usually pretty easy to tell if someone is using a hair tie, applying one to their hair. It's usually easy to tell. And finally, this is not a hair tie either. Does anyone know what this is? This is corn on the cob with butter and seasoning and stuff on it. It's a favorite with the humans in the summertime. Well, well, you have three sets of teeth, and I can tell you as a human that I can't imagine trying corn on the cob with three sets of teeth. I mean, you'd be picking at them the rest of the day. It would be terrible, but maybe later. Okay, maybe after your procedures. Yeah, get you a little more human, and then we'll try corn on the cob. Okay. All right, great. Well, that essentially is my whole lesson on hair ties. Does anybody have any questions? Oh, well, I imagine it would be kind of hard to use hair ties if you don't have any hair. Um, I know, and we're working on your wig. Yeah, we haven't been able to find one yet with a cap big enough, but we're working on that. So hang in there, and I promise you, as soon as we get your wig and we get you fitted, and get it all ready and everything, we'll let you play with some of these hair ties, okay? In fact, why don't you keep these? Oh, you want these? Okay. Well, you keep these, okay? And when we get your wig ready, we'll play around with the hair ties, okay? All right, great. Well, you two go ahead and get psyched up because we're going to go out and have a fight in the parking lot. Uh huh. And you're going to make your mama proud, okay? Great. Uh, all right, well, let's go on out and get started then. Thank you so much for coming to my lesson on hair ties.